Jean Paul,
Andres,
how are you?
good man. How are you?
Very good, man.
Excellent, excellent.
I give you my apologies about the timing, you know. I thought it was a 5 o'clock uh, local time, but it seems like you went in 1 hour before.
It's okay. It just means that I grabbed a beer a little bit early, and so it's all
Right.
good.
Okay, before the start of the interview, I want to let you know that as you start with the Clutch back in the 1990, I myself started my radio career in the same year. So I've been doing this for 34 years. And for your surprise, I started, here is the testimony of some music that I've been playing for all those years, you know?
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, brother. Thanks a lot for your music. Thanks a lot for giving us the time for this interview.
Of course, I'm very happy to be here, and thank you for listening.
This is a very special time for me right here in Radionica because I'm having one of the best drummers on rock, hard rock, Mr. Jean Paul Gaster from the Clutch band. Mr. Jean Paul, thanks a lot for your time, and we are very happy to have you here on public radio in Colombia.
Well, thank you very much for having me, and I'm very happy to be here.
Well, my first question or asseveration better is that I'm amazed that after 34, 35 years, the lineup from Klaus is still the same. So that's wonderful because I've been doing radio for the same time, and the cancer of the new band is that they don't handle each other, and they broke up, and you know the story. So this is great that you guys been doing this for so long.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's something that I think we're all very proud of. Um, I think there's a couple reasons for that. Maybe the first one is that we were friends before we started the band. And so although we were musicians and we knew each other and we had played together, Clutch was not a thing until later on. So I think that we had that sort of base friendship that brought us together. And then we were fortunate enough to make some records and experience just a little bit of success. People seemed to like what we were doing. And, with success always comes complications as well. And we always made it a point to focus on the music. And that's really been the thing that has sort of directed us over all these years. When things got difficult, whether it was dealing with a record label or financial problems or anything else that might come a band's way, we always knew that at the end of the day, there's the music. We have the music, and that's what we concentrated on. And the other part of that was that we were not interested in becoming famous. We didn't need to be on the radio. We didn't need to play stadiums. We just enjoyed playing music for ourselves, and maybe some friends would come and see us play. And that's been the attitude all along. So I attribute those factors to the way we've been able to carry this thing for so long.
I get you perfectly. And now I understand a lot of things, because you can feel in your music that brotherhood and you are not in a hurry of fame or nothing. It's just good rhythms, good riffs, good vibe. Uh, Clutch is a band very known for playing a lot. You do a lot of concerts. You've been in Europe, in Australia, etc. But you're going to be in Colombia for your first time. So my question is, do you have any expectations or something like that?
The only expectations we have is that we will come to your town and we will play the very best show that we can play. And that's really how we do things. We very much enjoy playing. We enjoy visiting new places. Very excited to tour Latin America. But again, we're not there to be famous or to be adored. We're there to make music for you guys, and that's our job. And we're going to do the best we can.
All right. I want to let you know something, Jean Paul. I myself feel like a host, host between the band and the listeners, you know. And I like I told you before we started the interview, I've been playing your music for so long. I even have a countdown named the top 25 metal detector. And let me tell you that every time the Clutch comes with a new album, is on the top 25, something that I like it a lot. So let's talk about, I don't want to talk about, you know, the old story of Clutch, because the past is past, and you guys are moving forward incredibly. So let's talk about, for example, the book of bad decisions. I love that album, Jean Paul. What do you remember, you know, 2018 for that album?
Sure. Uh, well, I remember that we wanted to try something different. At that point, we had made two records with the same producer, also a good friend of ours. He goes by the name Machine, and he's he has a very particular style in the way that he makes records, and I think we made some very good records with him. When it came time to do Book of Bad Decisions, we wanted to do something different, and we were looking for places to record and people to record with. And you know, I enjoy recording. I enjoy microphones, and I enjoy the studio and learning as much as I can about it. And so I was just on YouTube, and I was looking at different engineers and guys who produce records and just listening to what they have to say because it's very interesting to me. And that's when we came across Vance Powell.
Okay.
Vance Powell works out of Nashville, and he has a wide array of artists that he works with. Probably the most well-known artist that he works with is Jack White of the White
Wow.
Stripes. Yeah, and of course his records always sound amazing. Um, and another artist that he works with too that's quite different is a country artist called Chris Stapleton.
Well, I know him. Yeah.
And Chris, yeah, and Chris Stapleton is he although he's a country artist, I feel like there's a lot of sort of rock attitude in what he does. And I can remember in particular listening to one of his albums and thinking, you know, this sounds like country music, but the production is very different. It sounded like a rock band to me. And so we had a conversation with Vance, and it went very well. And so we spent about a month in Nashville recording with him. We learned a tremendous amount. He is an amazing engineer, and I think we made a very good record with him. When I think of Book of Bad Decisions, for me sonically, it's very dense. There's a lot of riffs in there. There is a lot of grooves, and there's a lot of music. I feel like it's a very big album, and for that reason, I'm very proud. It has some great songs, some songs we continue to play to this day, and you know, each recording is a learning experience, and so the lessons that we learn with those with each album carry on to the next album, and there's always going to be something different with the next record because we don't really like to repeat ourselves.
You can tell. I was about to tell you that, you know, the band has never been the same. You guys been evolving in a good way, and like paying attention of the new technology, like you just said, you know, so you can feel that evolution in the band. Okay, let's talk about the Sunrise on Slaughter Beach. What a great album. It's one of my favorites, and of the whole collection, you know. It's like clean, neat. It impressed me that it came out in the pandemic, you know.
Well, me too. uh, yeah, that was kind of that was a different one for us, for a number of reasons. For me, the main difference between Sunrise on Slaughter Beach and previous albums is that on previous records, we always had the opportunity to play the new songs live before we recorded them. So we would write a song or maybe just a couple riffs and put them together and then go on the stage and play them in front of an audience. And you learn so much by doing that. Immediately, you know if the tempo is right, you know if the feel is right. Neil thinks about the lyrics and how they connect with the audience. And having that live interaction between the band and the audience is very valuable for when we go into the studio and we think about all that stuff. So on Sunrise on Slaughter Beach, we did not have that opportunity. It was during the pandemic,
Right.
and so we didn't have the opportunity to go out and play these songs. So for that reason, the record was um, kind of sketchy or kind of nebulous in the way that when we went into the studio, we didn't know exactly what was going to come out because we had not had the opportunity to really play the songs.
Uh-huh.
Fortunately, we enlisted the help of Tom Delgetty, a very good producer,
Yeah.
uh, a younger guy too, younger than we are anyway. And he really helped us put these ideas together in a very concise way. And so for that reason, I think Sunrise on Slaughter Beach is a little different than previous records, just for that, because we did not play those songs out before we went and recorded them.
I saw that you have like a limited edition of the album with three more songs. It came to my mind that you are in a very prolific timing right now, composing music, you know?
Well, yes, you are correct in that assumption. Um, at the moment, we have about 8 or 9 new song ideas, and our friend Tom Delgetty, the same producer from before, he's going to come and hang out with us next week, and we're going to start working through those ideas. And we will not record an album, but we will work on these ideas and sort of refine them, perfect them. And then at that point, we're going to set those songs aside, and then we'll write another batch.
All
And
right.
then from there, we will make the record.
That sounds great. Yeah, of course, because you know you can tell that it's another perspective of the band, and it sounds radical. I've been playing the album in my show. The people love it, and I think they're prepared for your visit here in Colombia, Jean Paul. This is the perfect timing. Are you satisfied with the results of the way you did it? You know, without playing before, like you just said and everything.
Very, very much so. It was very experimental in a way,
Uh-huh.
and so for that reason, I think we ended up with a record that is quite different. If we had had the opportunity to take those songs out and play them live, they would have changed. They would have evolved in one way or another, and that's not to say that they would have been better. I think that Sunrise on Slaughter Beach is a good photograph of where we were at the time, and I'm very proud of it for that reason.
I want to tell you something, Jean Paul. In my show, Rock Express or El Expreso del Rock, whatever you want to call it, you know, in Spanish or English, I play from the blues. You know, I even have a book that came out 1 year ago about the blues, the roots. But at the same time, I work metal, you know, and serious kind of metal. I'm talking about death metal, black metal, you know, all the new genres that are working right now. But with Flash, always been was it's been like kind of different in a way that is hard rock for me. You know, it's in a tiny line between hard rock and metal. Let's say that and
Sure.
and, and that's perfect for me because the people dig, you know, the blues and the roots and the heaviness, you know, from the black or dead, and you are right there, you know, and you're always being there, and I love it, man. How you feel, you know, in the moment where rocks is supposed to be on crisis, but not the metal, and you are in between. It's weird, you know.
Yeah, I think you're right. We have always sort of straddled that line of one genre or another. And I remember in the very early days, people were always trying to put a classification on us. You know, I can remember them saying, "Oh, that we're grunge," and then maybe it was post grunge or post hardcore,
That's right.
and then this term stoner rock came around.
That's
You know,
right.
we were making music before this idea stoner rock was even existed.
Of
Uh,
course.
so, I think I'm okay with that. I don't mind people putting classifications on the music so long as they give the music a chance and really listen. Sometimes you have to call music something. You have to say, "Oh, I know this new band," and maybe they say, well, what kind of music is it? And then you say, well, it's metal, and that gives the people an idea. Okay, well, maybe it's metal. We'll check it out. And then they listen and they realize, oh, well, there's other stuff involved there. We listen to metal, we listen to blues, jazz,
Yeah,
reggae, a
that's
lot of
right.
a lot of funk.
Yeah.
Uh, and then in the 90s, a lot of hip hop too. We loved Wu-Tang Clan and Public Enemy
Mhm.
and Notorious B.I.G. And, we listened to it all. We didn't put boundaries on it that say, hey, this is what we're supposed to do. Um, I love all that music. And so I try to incorporate all that stuff into what I do.
I'm totally identified with you, and with my listeners. And I want to tell you something, Jean Paul. The people here like heavy, and no matter how you call it. So you're going to have a great concert. I've been talking with my friends, and they like cannot believe that Clash is gonna come. But of course, you are going. I have a poster right here. Look,
Let's see.
I have a beautiful. Ay, ¿dónde está el póster, mi amor? El de Clutch. Ah, está acá. Está metido acá. Mira a ver si dónde está. Okay, I missed the place, but I have the poster.
Uh-huh.
My wife put it somewhere else, but I'm ready for the show, and I want to ask you something, how's the relation right now between the the members of the
Oh,
band,
awesome.
Yes, I'm prepared. I'm so happy. How's the relationship right now with Clutch, in nowadays, you still being, are you neighbors or you call yourself frequently or how it works?
We see each other all the time. Uh, we this week we are off because some people are off on vacations and holiday. But on Saturday afternoon, we get back together again. We will rehearse, and then we will get ready for Tom to come in because he will come in on Monday, and we will work all week. Uh, Typically, we will finish a tour and maybe take a week, maybe 2 weeks off. We just kind of go home and do home stuff. But then we're back in the jam room again. And it's usually 3 times a week. And usually when we get together, we're writing new music. Unless there's a show coming up, we just start playing riffs. And we have the all the equipment always mic'd up, the computers there ready to go. So the minute somebody has an idea, boom, I go push record and we document that idea. And sometimes that idea becomes a song, and sometimes that idea is just something that we did for an hour. Uh, but it's okay because you have to keep playing. You can't, sometimes I play with musicians, in projects and stuff, and they become sort of very focused on one idea. Oh, this is the song, and this is the idea, and this is the only one that there is. We try not to do that. We try to come up with many ideas. Okay, that idea is cool. Great. Let's try something else. Let's see if what this idea will be like. And we just try to put as many of these things together. And then when it comes time to make a record, then we go through those things. We say, oh, well, that thing we did last month was really cool. And
Mhm.
then Neil, you have this new riff. Okay, well, let's put those together. That might be cool. And that's the way it works. It's very organic. There's not a set way that things come together.
Excellent. It's endless, it's the perfect example that the music is infinite, infinite ideas, infinite forms. You have like in a studio 13 albums, but if you put the live albums, the X, Y, Z things, it's like you have an album for a year, It's incredible your collection. So that makes you guys wise, and you can feel that on the music. So keep rocking and keep doing those things. The time is short in radio. Jean Paul, what do you want to tell to the Colombian rockers that are going to be on your show and that they have been listening to your music since I've been able to do it for sure?
I love it. Well, first of all, we're very excited about visiting, and we're going to we change the set list every night. So when you come to the show that you will see is going to be unique. And
Excellent.
It we love it like that because it keeps us engaged,
Right. Yes,
uh, and it keeps the audience engaged. You know, many times maybe you go see a band and they play the same 15,
I
18, or
know.
20 songs over and over. And if it's Motorhead, that's okay. I'm fine with that.
That's right.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
All the different.
But you know, we like to continue to change it up every night, and that keeps us from getting too not paying attention. You know, we like to be in the moment, and sometimes there are mistakes that happen because sometimes we play a song and maybe we haven't played that song in a
Right.
month or something, and we just put it on the set list. Let's do it, man. And but that's okay
Yeah,
because
yeah,
the audience understands
that's right.
this is real. This is really happening right now. This is not something that we rehearsed for 3 weeks and then we bring it to you.
Good, good.
We change it every night. Uh, so be prepared for that. You never know what you're going to get.
What can I say, Jean Paul? Thanks for taking the time for traveling, because nowadays traveling is stressful, the schedules, the airports, you know what I'm talking about. Thanks a lot for having the time to come to our country to give us your art, and I'll make sure that the people is going to be in that place packed out, brother.
I appreciate it very much. We can't wait to get there.
Okay, brother. So have a good time and say hi to all in the band, and I see you here.
Sounds great. Have a great night, Andres.
Keep rocking, brother.
Yes, sir.